What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to you, and I wanted to bring you a video, man, about some fake outrage, some fake leftist outrage. And we have to understand, man, now, if you use the wrong term to refer to people, refer to groups, refer to individuals, if you use the wrong pronouns or if you use the wrong racial language, if you say colored people instead of people of color, which again, I understand that you should probably use people of color because again, that is a more acceptable term now. It has been for a number of years. But if you misspeak on something, like intent matters. It matters on what people intend. So again, man, the guy that I'm going to show you in this video, he did not mean to say colored people. Didn't mean it. But again, man, it doesn't make one bit of difference what he intends. It's what he said. Now, people on the other side of the situation, they can call people whatever, man, especially straight white men. You can call whatever. And again, that's okay. You can openly use derogatory terms, and that's okay. But again, man, if you accidentally misspeak and say something the wrong way with anyone else, oh my God. Yeah. World War III. But hey, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Arizona.
Well, Mr. Chairman, though that was unbelievably inspiring, my amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color of your skin, any of that stuff. What we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment. We want the best of the best. We want to have standards that guide who's in what unit, what they do. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the North Koreans, they are not doing this because they want the strongest military possible. I hope my colleagues on the other side can understand what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker, asking to be recognized to have the words colored people.
For what purposes, gentlelady, seek recognition?
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive and very inappropriate.
Is the gentlelady asking for unanimous consent to take down the words?
I am asking for unanimous consent to take down the words of referring to me or any of my colleagues as colored people.
For what purposes, the gentleman from Arizona?
Can I amend my comments to people of color?
The gentleman wishes to amend his comments. Is the gentleman asking consent?
Mr. Speaker, to have the word stricken. I didn't ask for an amendment.
Is there unanimous consent to have the word stricken? Without objection, so ordered.
Nowadays, we have to be honest. If you refer to anyone in any way other than what they want you to refer to them as, then you're hateful. You're bigoted. And that's not the case. Not the case one single bit. We have to really be honest about that. Again, this guy was not trying to be bigoted or racist or hateful or anything else. He got the term colored people confused with people of color. And again, it's like, was he meaning anything racist or offensive by this? No. Again, he didn't mean it. He just said, again, colored people instead of people of color. And again, the thing is, man, everyone gets upset and offended about everything now. And again, we have to ask ourselves, was this meant to be offensive? Because really, that's what the test is. Is this meant to be offensive? Or were they just saying something when they misspoke? They put the words out of order. And that's really what this is, man. Again, he said colored people instead of people of color. So again, he really, in a lot of ways, man, he forgot one word and he got him out of order. And again, that's what happened. But here's what the problem is. Man, again, black people right now, they can be racist, man. They can say whatever. They can be hateful. They can be bigoted. They can call, a 20-year-old can call a 50-year-old a white boy. A 20-year-old black guy can call a 50-year-old white man a white boy. And it's okay. That is seen as okay. And people, they can refer to whatever, man, white boy, And again, that's okay. But if it were the other way around, and everyone knows damn well what I'm talking about, there'd be like 30 heart attacks right there on that floor if somebody said the word, the term black boy to refer to black man. Yeah, wouldn't be good. But, people like Roland Martin, again, man, over and over and over and over again, he's referred to grown-ass white men as white boys. But that's not offensive. So again, if there's going to be a standard, that standard has to be met by everyone. And also, man, the big thing is, does someone mean offense by it? Now, when somebody refers to grown white men as white boys, well, of course they do. It's a derogatory term. But was this guy on the floor using the term colored people as a way to be offensive? Of course not. That was not meant to be offensive in any way. And again, the reason why this woman got so upset about it is because she was looking for something to get offended by. That's what the issue is. So again, man, you want to know what I think about the real racist people right now? Not all black people, but again, man, black people much more so than whites. Much more. But I'm going to bring you a clip, man, from Roland Martin. And he's talking about this situation right here.
So just so some of y'all see some of y'all comments, watch one of his fellow Republicans sitting behind him. Watch his reaction when white Republican Eli Crane says colored people. Watch this.
Arizona.
Well, Mr. Chairman, though that was unbelievably inspiring, my amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with black people or anybody can serve, okay? Do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody.
The look, he was like, did his ass just say color people?
You know what, man? I think he did look up in a way to, again, he knew somebody would take offense to that. He knew they would. He probably also knew this, I'm sure, that his colleague didn't mean anything by that. But he knew somebody would take offense to it. That's what it is. And the thing is, again, man, you people in this panel right here are so damn smug. So damn smug because, again, right now, you believe you're above the law. You believe that you can do whatever you want to do. You can say whatever you want to say about everyone else. And other people they can't do it to you. They can't do it to you, and they have to watch everything they say. Because, again, if they say something at a place, they put the wrong words in order, then, again, people like you are going to call them racist. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. And then they worry about their standing in the community. And, again, it does not matter somebody's intent, according to people like you. Doesn't matter. Not one bit. But it does. It does. It truly matters what people are intending. Like me right now talking about this, I'm intending to bring it to people's awareness that, and I really think people do understand that right now it's okay. The other way around, it's okay. It is okay. And this kind of stuff really needs to stop.
This is who they are, Joe.
I have this habit that I'll admit. Anytime I'm getting ready to take off my shirt, because I've got my glasses on, I naturally take them off, okay? So what happens is, even if seconds before I took off my glasses, seconds before I took off my shirt, for some other reason, right? The glasses aren't on, but I still go like this, even though I did it seconds before. When you've done something and you've always done it and it's so natural, even in an audience where you know you'll be penalized for it, where you know you can't do it and you're not supposed to do it, and you're talking about people of color, so you know to train yourself, you don't do it. The Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so,
we gotta be honest, guys. This guy is not sitting around his house talking about black people and using the term colored people. He's not doing that, man. Again, he's not. Again, majority of white people aren't sitting around talking about black people at all. And if they are, they refer to them as people. But again, man, black people, like the people on this panel, not all black people, but like Roland Martin, people on this panel that try to make a big deal out of every damn thing. That see race and racism and everything. They conjure up in their own head that that's the way white people are. That's the way conservative people are. They sit around, man, thinking of people of color, thinking of black people as colored people or worse. And no, they're not. But again, man, that's in their own head, their own mind. And right now, we got to be honest with you, that is what sells. And that's why people like Roland Martin do what he does. But again, man, people like these folks on the panel here and Roland Martin, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they talk about white people at home and use derogatory terms. Why? Because they do so on a show. These guys right here on the panel, they're sitting there on a show with a man who calls grown white men white boys. So again, we have got to understand they had no problem with derogatory terms in public, let alone in private.
he talked about it like he used to talking about it, like he done it before, and like he'll do it again. And that's what you have in the United States of America. We're still here.
He is a Republican from Arizona, Larry.
Roland, I spent, my former boss, Congressman Owens, I spent many hours on the House floor discussing bills and amendments. I got to tell you, I never heard that before. That's a new one. And, we can't be surprised because this is pretty much, at least one thing with Republicans, they're consistent. So I was surprised even when they have it stricken, the way they do things now, I'm surprised he wasn't like, no, I said it and said it with his chest. But I'm quite sure maybe he thought he was going up on Fox News, but he'll probably end up on platforms like we're discussing them this evening. But once again, it's pretty consistent with what we've seen over the last couple of years from the Republican Party, so I'm not shocked.
Candace.
He told on himself. That's what he does at home. And trust me, he says more. And I think what's also interesting was that the amendment that he was even fighting for to prevent race or nationality in recruiting for any type of strategies and service doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're not going to consider somebody's nationality when you're dealing with somebody who might speak Arabic. You don't want to consider that when you're going into war with maybe a country that speaks Arabic, or to try to figure out the cultural differences that might be in play when you're going into war against other countries. Nothing that he said made sense in terms of the colored comment. or the amendment to begin with in terms of what we was fighting for. And none of us are surprised. Indeed, this is America.
Again, man, this guy made perfect sense. He did. Candace, he made sense. He did. Again, we're not talking about, again, people that speak Arabic. That's fine, man. Yeah, if that is something, a skill, again, that's not based on race or whatever. And yes, if we can find somebody who looks the part to infiltrate, the enemy or something, again, that's great too. But we're not talking about that. If we have these diversity, equity, inclusion programs in place, that again, you want to hire so many people of color, you want to hire so many women, so many white people, that kind of stuff is stupid. It's stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. It truly is. So the guy made perfect sense on this. Number one, we have to be honest with the guys. Kids nowadays, 18-year-olds, they're fat. Again, not all of them, but there are a lot of them out there that are fat. And again, man, we have to understand that we need everyone we can get. And we don't need to lower the standards in order to get people. Because guess what? The enemy will not lower their standards. They won't. So again, we have to understand that. We need the best of the best, man. Again, it does not matter what color they are. It doesn't matter. But this whole thing, again, everyone is getting their damn feelings hurt. This woman on the floor, these people in the panel, again, they're getting their feelings hurt. They're painted in a bunch. They're all upset because they said colored people instead of people of color. And again, we truly got to understand this guy did not mean that. And in no way does that mean he's sitting around his house using colored people to refer to black people. Not one single bit. Again, there are so many different terms now with the racial stuff and trans stuff and LGBTQ type. So again, there's so many different terms that we have to make right to get right. And if you say something out of place, man, if you say, if you use words in the wrong order, even though they mean exactly the same thing, you're bad. You're racist. You must be, because you're white. Because you're white and you says, now, if you're black and you call people, if you call grown white men white boys, like Roland Martin has done several times that I personally heard, again, that's fine. That's fine because he's black. That's fine. He's referring to the enemy. He's talking about white people, white men, which apparently are the enemy. And that's okay. That is okay. No, it's not. No, it's not okay. Again, the people that see race everywhere, they're the racist, man. Again, the ones out there saying the white people believe they're superior to me. No, they don't. Now, I'm not saying there aren't some white people out there that think a certain way. But majority of white people, they don't think that. But again, man, that's the way they view it. Oh, those are white people. Ooh, look at them over there. They're thinking they're better than me. No, they don't. They don't care. They don't think of anything. They're trying to, hey, look, what they're getting ready to do, what they're getting ready to eat. They're not thinking about you. And again, narcissistic people, which is pretty much everyone out there now, man, the trans stuff, the Black Lives Matter stuff, the LGBTQ stuff, man, again, everything is about them. Everything is about them. Oh, they get those people. They, again, white supremacy and, and again, the patriarchy and, again, straight people, cis people, they believe a certain way. No. No, they're just sitting at home eating popcorn, watching a movie with their kids. Again, we have truly got to understand that, again, there is full equality under the law, which is all you can ever have. And if anyone discriminates against you, you can file suit. Like in employment, like in housing, that kind of stuff. So the thing is, man, people, they're not thinking about you. They're not sitting around thinking about you. They're truly not. They don't care. And the thing is, man, again, I've seen on social media and stuff, man, again, if a white person comments about black people looting in Chicago or something, and they say, man, that's horrible. Oh, you're racist. You can't say that. They're not talking about people because you're black. They're talking about people that are looting. And again, that's something else we got to get straight to. If they happen to be black, well, then maybe look at yourself. But the fact of the matter is they're looting. Not black people, but the black people that are looting. So again, white people it's okay for a white person to criticize a black person doing that. And no, that doesn't make them racist. But hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You son of a